Okay, welcome everybody to another grammar lesson. We're going to look at complex 2 plus infinitive. I've noticed that this is the most popular lecture in my grammar course, complex gerunds, participles and 2 plus infinitive. Please go to that lesson for the whole picture with 2 plus infinitives and modal verbs and gerunds and participles. We're just going to focus on 2 plus infinitive today, and it's because this is where most of the mistakes lie, and it's also the hardest part, I think. And so I want to try and make myself clear right from the beginning today. The time when this is really important, this grammar, complex 2 plus infinitive, the time when you can be mistaken is when you're using these 4 verbs. It's not these 4, okay? And I'll tell you why in a second, but what we're going to really focus on are these 4 verbs, reporting verbs in the passive, and number 3, which are all the would forms: would like, would hate, would prefer, would love, would rather. We're not going to talk about number 4, adjectives, although I've put it on the list, and we're not going to talk about these 4. And it's because with these 4 verbs and with adjectives, you can use the perfect form or the simple form, and there's not a great deal of difference in meaning. You can say, I expect to finish my essay by the end of the week, or I expect to have finished my essay by the end of the week, and there's not a big difference in meaning. And that's why I didn't want to focus on them, just because there aren't often mistakes with those, although these are certainly other verbs that are very often seen with perfect 2 plus infinitive. And if you're wondering what the hell is perfect 2 plus infinitive, well, it looks like you would expect it to look: to have plus the third form, to have done, to have been, to have finished, to have said. Yeah, that's what perfect 2 plus infinitive is. But there are other forms of 2 plus infinitive, not just perfect. There's also continuous, for example, and we'll look at some of those as well. So let's look at the very first mistake. A student said this in one of the classes, and I realised this is a very good example of why it is important to learn about complex forms of 2 plus infinitive. Look at number 1. They seem to enjoy their trip. Now this is weird, because to enjoy is a simple form. Simple aspect, yeah, remember there's simple, continuous, perfect, perfect, continuous. The simple aspect is used for regular things that happen regularly. And so you might say that if you're referring to the trip that they go on every single year. Yeah, they seem to enjoy that trip that they go on every single year. That's okay. But most of the time you don't want to say this. You want to say one of 2 things, and you have 2 options. You have the continuous form, to be enjoying, which is 100% correct, or you have the perfect form, to have enjoyed. But not really, or very, very rarely, do you need number 1, the simple form. You want to be enjoying or to have enjoyed, and yes, they do mean different things. Yeah, what do they, you might already be able to guess what they mean, actually. They seem to be enjoying their trip. You say this when they are still on their trip. Yeah, the trip isn't finished, it's present continuous, and they are still enjoying their trip. So you say number 1, you say the continuous form in exactly the same situation of they are enjoying their trip. Yeah, right at the moment they are enjoying their trip. They seem to be enjoying their trip. But maybe they have already finished their trip, in which case you use the perfect form. You know, maybe they have already come back, you've seen their photos, and you say to your friend, oh, they seem to have enjoyed their trip. Yeah, this is when they have already finished the trip. Okay, so it is a fairly clear difference in meaning there, I think, between continuous and perfect, and it's exactly what you would expect, because continuous means they are still enjoying, and perfect means they have already enjoyed, it's finished. Okay, so it really does need to be one of these 2 most of the time. And so you can see with this verb, seem, I've put it as number 1 on the very first list. It's very important that you consider this grammar. Same with claim, appear, pretend, and these and these. Okay, it's not so important with adjectives. You know, I'm delighted to meet you. I'm delighted to have met you. To have met makes it clear. You wouldn't say it at the same time that you're meeting them. No way. You know, you'd say, I'm delighted to have met him last week. Yeah, something like that, that makes it clear. But a lot of the time you don't have to do it with adjectives.